I read somewhere that the Roman Empire ruled for over 1,000 years, shaped half of the world, gave us laws, cities, even words, and yet it still fell. I was wondering, what if it didn't? Computer, run the simulation.
The Roman Empire didn't fall overnight. Its decline came in waves: civil unrest, economic mismanagement, military overreach, and a bureaucracy that no longer served its people. On top of that came external pressure: Gothic migrations, Persian aggression, and the rising cost of defending an ever-growing border. In this altered reality, Rome acts earlier. Instead of clinging to central power, it decentralizes, granting regional governors more autonomy while maintaining shared law and military command. Local leadership earns loyalty by solving local problems. The army is reformed, smaller but faster and locally recruited. Veterans settle in border towns with land incentives. Migrant groups are welcomed and integrated, not hunted. In exchange, they defend the empire as citizens. Inflation is slowed by fixing the silver content in coinage. Land ownership is redistributed to stop wealth hoarding. And crucially, the grain supply, Rome's lifeblood, is secured with better trade routes and local farming investment. These reforms don't make the empire perfect, but they buy time, and that time lets Rome evolve.
So they expand. Great. How far can they go?
By 600 CE, the Roman Empire has regained dominance over the Mediterranean basin. Its western and eastern halves reunite, not by conquest, but by negotiation. Rome learns from its failures. It builds alliances with former rivals. The Eastern Roman Empire, Byzantium, joins through shared reforms. The Persians, once bitter enemies, become trading partners. North Africa becomes a major economic center again. Cities like Carthage rise as multicultural hubs, blending Roman and Berber traditions. In Hispania, Roman investment transforms old colonies into thriving provinces. Cordoba and Tarraco grow into cultural capitals, linked by vast aqueducts, guarded highways, and a unified currency. This is no longer the empire of Caesars. It's an empire of pragmatists, merchants, scholars, and hybrid cultures.
And what about rivals? Someone must rise to challenge this, right?
They do. But Rome has adapted. On the eastern steppes, the Turkic Khaganate grows in power. Mobile, decentralized, and hardened by the terrain, they threaten Rome's eastern trade routes. In the north, Germanic tribes don't vanish, they unify. Not as barbarians, but as federated allies of Rome. The Franks and Goths are granted land and autonomy in exchange for loyalty and soldiers. Meanwhile, in the east, the Gupta Empire doesn't decline. With no Huna invasion, it thrives. Math, astronomy, and literature flourish, and its influence starts to cross Roman lines. Rome faces not a single enemy, but a world of rising civilizations. And for the first time in centuries, it doesn't try to destroy them. It studies them, trades with them, learns.
They have united the world, but Rome can command faith?
The Roman Empire has endured far beyond its ancient limits. Its borders stretch across continents, its roads weave through time. But now, the challenge it faces does not come from invaders. It comes from within. Religion, once Rome's tool of unity, is now the force testing its cohesion. Christianity, adopted and adapted by emperors, has splintered into competing visions. In Constantinople, bishops debate the nature of Christ beneath golden domes. Each word they speak is loaded with political weight and theological consequence. In Alexandria, scholars scribble furious arguments late into the night, defending ancient traditions. In the West, far from the courts, local priests blend Christian rites with pagan echoes. Feasts for saints overlap with druidic harvests. The empire watches, too rigid, and it risks civil war. Too loose, and faith becomes unrecognizable. So Rome attempts something no power has tried before, a council of all believers, not just Christians but delegates from Persia, India, and the Far East. Zoroastrian firekeepers sit beside Buddhist monks. Greek philosophers engage with Jain mystics, all under the imperial seal. They do not agree. But in the dissonance, a new harmony begins to emerge, a layered faith, not one of conquest, but of coexistence. A vision of the sacred that can flex, evolve, and absorb. Rome does not fall into religious chaos. It becomes a crucible of belief. An empire no longer bound by a single god, but held together by the dialogue between many.
They absorbed rising powers and redirected global ambition. But if the Roman Empire never fell, how far did it actually go?
With the imperial order restored and modernized by 1908, the Roman Empire entered its most expansive era, not through conquest, but through absorption, treaties, and infrastructure. The world didn't fall to Rome, it signed on. By 1924, former colonial possessions in the Americas were reorganized into transoceanic provinces. Nova Carthago, once New York, became a major port between the Atlantic and the heart of the empire. The old imperial roads had become rail lines. Now they reached across continents. Africa was never partitioned. Instead, long-standing Roman trade networks in Egypt, Mauritania, and Ethiopia evolved into a cooperative continental prefecture by 1939. Oil from Libya powered imperial airships. Uranium from Nubia fueled an early atomic program, intended for power, not weapons. Asia's integration took longer, but Rome was patient. In 1956, after decades of cultural and economic exchange, a mutual defense pact was signed with the Chinese dynastic republics. Japan joined soon after, eager for technological parity and prestige. By 1970, a Pan-Asiatic alliance governed by the Lex Orientalis merged into the Senate structure as District Orienta. This global consolidation made war obsolete. Borders became ceremonial. Conflict became bureaucratic. Humanity turned its gaze upward. By 1984, lunar bases began operating as research outposts. In 1999, the Imperial orbital ring was completed, linking satellites and providing real-time communication and climate coordination to all provinces. Mars received its first settlers in 2013, scientists, historians, and clergy. The Colonia Rubra is not a military post. It is a library. Now, in the year 2025 CE, year 2778 ab urbe condita, the world is not ruled by a single man, but administered through a living, adapting system. The Senate remains, Latin remains, the Imperium remains. But so do the people, billions of them from every origin, who now call themselves Roman. Simulation complete. It is what never was. What would you have changed? And what should we simulate next?